We talk about rent to own. There's so many different types of rent to own programs out there. So I just want to give some clarity on what exactly rent to own is. Rent to own used to be a really good way to actually get into a home under certain circumstances, and it still is in some instances. And we're going to compare this to what the shared equity financing, the newer one, is, and talk about some of those differences as well. So why would I get into rent to own? Who would get into rent to own? Well, it's people that probably have a minimal down payment. Save, you probably need between 3 to 5%. 3 is a very, very minimum, but you're probably pretty close to 5%. But there might be credit or qualifying issues as well, right? So basically, how I'm declaring my income right now is not suitable for the lender, or my credit's low. Maybe I had a previous bankruptcy. I need more time to have that corrected in my bureau and help my credit go up. I can either try and work on all that right now, wait 3 or 4 years, and then try and buy a home. Or maybe if I buy a home today, I can kind of secure what that future value is and get into the home today and then take it over in 3 or 4 years. Okay. So that's where the advantage of rent to own is. So for example, if this house is listed at 600,000, and let's say we have a market appreciation of 8% per year. Okay. We're going to estimate that. I know there's been an adjustment, but you can anticipate that it's still going to increase. The down payment that you would require for something like this right now is 35,000. We have two options. We can rent and save and then buy it later, or we can maybe choose rent to own. So if I rent and save, okay, my monthly costs are about $34.05. My purchase price at the 10% in 3 years from now is going to be about $755,000, okay, of that $600,000 home, because it's increasing 10% per year. The mortgage I require is about $705,000. If I compare it to rent to own today, my payments are higher. Okay, why are my payments higher? They're because I'm carrying that rent portion, but I'm carrying an increased amount that's going to contribute towards my down payment over a period of time. Okay, so that's the one thing with the rent own. You're going to find your payments are higher. Okay, because if I have to save X amount with over 3 years to have that down payment, to have more of a down payment, then that's going to be incorporated into all my payments, because it goes right to a trust fund. Okay. My purchase price in 3 years is $655,700. Why is that $100,000 less than if I waited? Because what happens when you get the rent to own, there's a pre-designated takeover price when you take that home back over of what that is. So you're actually securing the actual future value of that particular home today. Okay. And you're going to buffer against those increases that you're going to have in the marketplace. So that's where one advantage is. I know that there's a lot of people that would take rent on 3 or 4 years. All of a sudden they say, wow, now I'm taking over the house. They would sell it the next month because they just made an extra 100,000 and go buy the next home, which is fantastic. So that's a good part of where rent to own is. It kind of secures that future value. In that way, you're not paying or waiting and trying to get into a home, and nothing that you're paying in your rent is going towards anything that's going to be benefiting you. The other thing that I want to just clarify too, because another time I say, Lauren, well, how do you find a rent to own property? It's any property that's on the MLS. First, you qualify and sort of pre-approved. And then you and your realtor go find any home on the MLS. It's not a designated property that's designated for rent own. It's any home that's on the MLS. Now, there might be some restrictions because they don't like swimming pools and things that could be large expenses, because technically it's the rent to own entity that's still responsible for that property until it's taken over by you. And the other thing too, with closing costs, there's no land transfer taxes or anything else as well. When you start the rent to own, it's when you take it over, that's when those costs would be incurred.